aliens can climb on the ceilings, on the walls. It's all driven by sophisticated artificial intelligence.
They're in the ceiling.
Happy All Hallows Eve, everyone! For this year's ultra spooky episode, I'm reviewing a game based on the terrifying horror film, Aliens. Well, I guess it is more based on Aliens than the original Alien. And I guess Aliens isn't actually too scary. The first movie was pretty much a slasher film, while Aliens is more of an action film. But it's still a horror movie. The creatures and the setting can be very freaky at times. So, Halloween! Woo! Yeah, Halloween. Alright, so maybe the subject material isn't actually that scary, but this game is well known for being pretty bad. So, that's scary. This game is most known for its horrible marketing. Not because what they showed in the marketing was bad, but because it was too good. The footage that they showed in trailers and gameplay demos that they showed off at E3 looked really good. But when the game actually came out, it looked way worse than what we were shown. They showed off some great looking graphics and some awesome gameplay, gloating about how the aliens moved and acted, talking up the quality of their AI, and just really pumping people up to play the game and be pitted against these horrific creatures. The animations for the xenomorphs looked pretty good in the footage that they showed, but in the final game, it looks really choppy and bad. The animation quality is worse and the AI is pretty underwhelming. How could the aliens go from looking and acting like this to this? They're so derpy. They're just dumb. They're just really dumb and awful. They drop down right in front of you and just stand there sometimes, letting you shoot them. The aliens in the movies would never do that. These things were supposed to be cold-blooded hunters. Well, actually, maybe warm-blooded. They do bleed acid. I don't really know what the average temperature of acid is. Whatever! They're wild, feral creatures that stalk around in the shadows, fit into tight places, and leap out, impaling you with their tails. But in Aliens Colonial Marines, they're just badly animated animals that derpily run up to you blindly to die. This, mixed with a lot of other little things, like some dialogue and character models that appear in the demos that they showed, but not in the final game at all, does not paint the game in a very positive light. Or I guess I should say it doesn't paint the developers or publishers in a positive light. I'm not exactly sure who's to blame. And look, I don't really know much about game development, I'll admit right now, but in order for the final game to end up so much worse than what people were promised and shown, the demos they showed off must have been faked. Either some really heavily scripted sequences with little interactivity that got removed, or just straight up cutscenes that they made to make the game look better. But that's all I'm gonna say on that. This game came out like 5 years ago, so I'm pretty sure most people already know about the controversy. So, I've decided I'm gonna give this game a chance, a fair shake. I'm gonna go into this game with no expectations. I'm just going to play it and review it as if they didn't completely catfish everyone with this amazing looking footage. And I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the game a lot more because of it. Let's go. Yeah, it's not very good. I'm so shocked. Even without comparing it to the footage that they showed, this game looks bad. And I'm even taking into account when it came out. This game does not look good even for 2013. I'm playing the Xbox 360 version of the game, and I'm sure that the PC version looks a lot better. But the console version is pretty darn ugly right off the bat. The world that they've created actually doesn't look too bad. It resembles the movies pretty well. And there's a ton of small details and Easter eggs from the movies. Heck, when looking at just a stilled frame, a screenshot from this game, it actually doesn't look too bad. But it's when you see it all in motion that you see how truly ugly this game is. So much screen tearing galore! Mixed in with texture pop-in, as well as subpar animations that I've mentioned before, and this game does not look good. In fact, at times, it's just really downright ugly. And just look at some of these cutscenes. This just doesn't look good. And even the cutscenes have no hit detection. Why have things clip through other things in a cutscene? This isn't interactive. It's a cutscene that they put together. Just move the ship and the debris apart. Or at least add in some sort of special effect to make it look like these giant things are actually hitting each other and not just clipping through one another. It's a pet peeve of mine. I understand having some optimization and clipping problems in the actual game. It's interactive, and the developers can't always predict all of the factors and variables in a given situation. But in a pre-made cutscene, there's no excuse. These should be where the game looks its best, not its worst. I mean, really, some of these cutscenes just look atrocious. So the gameplay, honestly, it's mediocre. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is the worst game I've ever played. It's not. It's just not super good. The AI is pretty bad, so it just ends up being pretty easy. Doesn't stop me from dying a lot though, like right here, and a whole lot here. But this is probably just because I'm really, really bad. I'm going to be completely open with you guys. This is why my name is ThuN00b. I don't know if I can properly talk about this game fully, because oftentimes I can't tell whether the game sucks or I suck at it. It's probably a bit of both. I played this game on the second easiest difficulty, and I still could barely play the first 2 hours of the campaign. I died a lot. I suck. So freaking bad. So in case you were planning on posting a comment below, something along the lines of, "Oh, you're just bad at this game," you don't need to. I'm well aware. I'm admitting it now. So, I guess I'm saving you time, so you're welcome. Despite me admittedly sucking though, I will say that a lot of these deaths really aren't completely my fault. Enemies can sneak up on me really easily, and before I'm even aware that they're shooting me, I'm dead. Your health can deplete very fast in this game. And hell, even if I do realize that I'm being shot, I often don't have enough time to find out where they are. Could be right behind me, could be hiding behind a box in the distance. This could be alleviated with a radar, which, well, you do have one, the motion tracker. You press the left bumper button to bring it up, and it's the closest thing you have to an enemy radar. The motion tracker is straight out of the movies, and it looks and sounds perfect. It's a fun novelty. But I can't help but feel that it's kind of just definitively worse than having a regular radar in the corner of the screen at all times, like in some other games. Having to stop shooting and hold it up every once in a while would work fine, and it would be good if this was, say, a survival horror game, but it's not. It's a straight-up action shooter. Kill all of the enemies charging at you and then run to the next destination. So having to stop and pull out this tracker often doesn't feel good. More often than not, I just don't use it. It was fun to use at a couple points in the game, but yeah, overall I would much have rather just have an overlay of it in the corner of the screen at all times. Or hey, even better than that, have it be an overlay with the sound effects and the look and everything, but just have it only pop up automatically when there's actually something nearby. Just an idea. This game just doesn't feel good. That's a term, right? Game feel? This game does not have the best game feel. I may suck at aiming a lot, especially with a controller, but even I can tell that the analog aiming in this game is not great. I played through all 3 BioShock games with a controller, and I never had this much trouble. When I successfully shoot someone in Overwatch, it feels good. When I successfully shoot an enemy in Borderlands, it feels good. You feel the impact, it feels like you did some damage. In mediocre shooters like this, it just sort of feels like I'm aiming a virtual gun towards an image on the screen and then pressing a button and then the image turns into a dead image. There was actually one spot in this game that felt pretty good, at least compared to the rest, because it stopped being a shooter and suddenly became a survival horror game, basically. It's this section where you're knocked out and then you wake up with no weapons and a big-ass alien chasing after you. You end up in the sewer area and you have to slowly traverse around without these guys seeing you. They only see movement, so it's basically red light, green light. This part of the game was actually pretty fun. Well, okay, that's kind of a lie, it wasn't amazing. But it was funner than the rest, at least it was different. Sure, it was a pretty shallow version of survival horror. All you really have to do is walk slowly and wait for these aliens to walk past you from time to time. But it was more exhilarating than any other part of this game. Oh no, don't worry guys, I've got the elevator. Couldn't press the button yourself, lazy bastards.
Everyone hug the left wall. On me, on me. Stay out of the lights.
And a second later, they go straight into the light. Great. What else is there to say? The graphics, gameplay, boss fights. Oh, right! Boss fights are a thing! Forgive me, I forgot since there's only 3 in the game. There was 3, right? I'm second guessing myself, that's how forgettable the journey has been. There's this one where you get into a heavy lifter suit, the one from the end of Aliens. I thought that this would be pretty cool, but Well, you know that toy Rock'em Sock'em Robots? Yeah, that's a better version of this. There's this fight with this big guy who charges towards you. Yeah, this boss fight pretty much equates to move to the side to dodge the bull, and then, woo, shoot at him, yeah! This is fun, fun time. Oh, but those pale in comparison to the greatest boss fight in this game, sarcasm, it's the sarcasm alert, the final boss, which is, oh god, it is so bad. This game ends on such a horrible note. It's the Queen Alien, and she can't reach me somehow. Why should I be scared of these things? I mean, really, even when she does successfully attack me, I'm fine. I got hit several times, and I was fine. And the boss fight, you flip switches. 4 switches around the room. Lure the Queen Alien to one side, then run to the other side to hit the switch, and then do it all again, 3 more times. And then I messed up the timing on the 5th and final switch. I missed her, and then I had to do it all over again. I spent like 15 minutes on this. I'm an idiot. Then, when I finally did it and I knocked her out of the ship, the Queen just crawled back in immediately. I mean, immediately. It immediately goes to the cutscene where she crawls back in. So it didn't even freaking matter. And then the game just ends. A moment later, it just ends. A terrible ending. Maybe it was supposed to be leading into a sequel that never happened, or hell, maybe they did continue this plot in one of the other games and I just don't know about it. I don't care. This game didn't even have a good plot. Everything else was mediocre. Well, the plot's no different. The plot of this game is basically, save the Marines, no man left behind, aliens got her. Can we stop it? No. Okay, I'm in this game too. Game over, man, game over. It's just bad. All I could do is shake in disappointment. And then this game has the gall to end with these specialized messages from members of the development team in the credits. And some of these are so sweet. I'm sure that the people who made this game are great. I'm sure they're super nice people, and I'm sure they're talented too. But this game, it's inexcusable. I don't know exactly who's to blame, the developer, publisher, I don't really care. It's just not okay. Nothing in this game, gameplay-wise, is atrociously terrible. I mean, it's serviceable enough, I guess. It's just so mediocre. I don't really have anything good to say about it, other than it could be worse. But then that's the problem, it also could have been so much better. Thank God that the next game was apparently a lot better. God, guys, I am so spooked after all of that. I mean, this game really spooked me. I mean, what a scary Halloween episode this has been. The game's not scary at all. If the game's gonna end on a completely sour note, then I might as well too. Happy Halloween. See ya.